off again and we notice, damn, we haven't got gas yet. You have to realize when you haven't got gas yet. So you need to fill your car up, right? You need price to go back, sweep out liquidity, right? For from traders who got in to this sell early to go to the bottom to sweep out all of these lows. That's all this is. It's just liquidity. It's early traders, early buyers, early sellers who get into the market early, right, to go ahead and go lower, right? Price will come up, stop those traders out, and then continue to the downside to go and sweep out all of the liquidity. Now, once the liquidity is taken out, right? This is the liquidity right here, right? That is taken out, right? We have a key area that price bounced off. We have a gap right here, right? We also have an inversion for valley gap. It looked like price tapped the CE of this inversion to the tick. Let me measure this out and see if that happened exactly. Um, yeah, we did. We came tap the CE of the inversion, right? That was pretty cool, right? Now here's the thing when it comes to this area right here. Now, the trades that I took today. Let's look over the trades I took today and why I ended up taking the trades today and what I could have did better. Even though I made $22,000, I could have did something better to go ahead and make my 70,000 that I was looking to make. But I'm gonna go ahead and let's just run through like my mistakes. Right, it wasn't like super deep mistakes because again I still made $22,000 and I bottom tick and it was pretty easy. But I could have looked at the charts a little bit better. So when we come to the 5 minute time frame, right? First off, we want to acknowledge the fact that we had already swept out liquidity, right, on the higher time frame, right? Now the mistake I made is that we didn't induce after we went ahead and we swept out liquidity. We didn't induce on the hourly time frame. We just swept liquidity, but we didn't give inducement yet. So when we swept out liquidity, this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the fact that okay, we swept liquidity here, right? And then we came up and we went ahead and we induced on this 5 minute time frame right here, right? So with that being said, I wanted to see price hold this low to go all the way back up to this high where price is headed to right now, right? So when market opened at 9:30, I already had a limit set at CE of this gap. Why CE of this gap? Because when you mark it out, you'll see that there is liquidity sitting right above CE of the gap. So I wanted to see price go ahead and tap CE of this gap. Right. This is the first trade I ended up taking. I took two trades and then I had a 20-point stop loss, which was right there. Right. And I carried it all the way up to this high that was right here. Right, and I end up taking all of my contracts off, right? So right after that, I was like, okay, let me try to get into another trade, right? I want to see what's going on. One of the things that I noticed is that hey, I'm looking to put a SMT in right here, right at the bottom off of this order block that was right here, right? So what did I do? I ended up marking out this order block right here. And as I marked out this order block, I wanted to see CE of this order block come get tapped, but I wanted to get a little bit more precise. So I went to the 1 minute time frame, right? And then I went and I looked for the 1 minute order block, which was right here, right? I went ahead and I marked that 1 minute order block out and I marked out the opening of that 1 minute order block, right? And I ended up taking the 1 minute order block because I felt like price was going to come a little bit deeper, and which is to be honest, I didn't have to. I could have just placed it at CE of this 5 minute order block because there was liquidity sitting right here, and if I would have had if I had a 20-point stop loss on that, I would have been cool. Like I would have been good. I would have never got stopped out because price would have just tapped the opening and then went to the upside. But I end up placing it at the 1 minute, right, with a 20-point stop loss because I wanted it. If price wanted to tap CE of this 1 minute order block, I wanted to be able to have room. So I had this trade like this, and it got all the way up to this area, and I was up about another $22,000 on this trade, but I let it come all the way back down and stop me out at break even. which so I potentially could have walked away with $44,000 today, but I didn't. I only walked away with 22,000 because I let that all that money go right back to break even, and then price came and induced on the 1 hour time frame, and then from there we went and we bought up to the upside. Now I was trying to get right back inside of this trade from off of this 1 minute order block when it formed. My problem was when it formed, I set a limit at CE. I mean at the opening of this order block, price almost tapped me in and then went to the upside. And from there, I just did not get back inside of like no other trades. I did take a SPX trade on options and I got 200% on that. But outside of that, I did not look to take no other trade on NASDAQ just because um, I'm just not, I just didn't want to overtrade. So this was my bias, my trades for the day. The reason why I was taking these trades, right? The reason why you guys should have been taking these trades, especially for this trade that I'm speaking of, that was earlier, like the very first trade at 9:30, right? Um, Knowing that this was inducement right here, and we had built a low that was right here, right? And we were aiming for this high that was right here, right? Your first thought should have been, okay, market is most likely going to come down, right? Sweep out these lows, induce these lows, and then tap this area to go higher, right? Now I know I had a question from someone earlier, and it was like, hey, how do you know when isn't this supposed to be a protective low if this was inducement? A inducement low is only protected until a high is taken out. Once a high or low is taken out, the inducement low or high is no longer relevant. According to the time frame. Let me say that according to the time frame. So if it's a 5 minute inducement, once a 5 minute high is taken out, that's it. That's it. It's no longer protected. Okay. I just want to clear that up before you guys ask me that shit again. All right, I'm gonna let you guys ask me some questions. Raise your hands to ask questions, please.
Hey, Luchii, I did ask you a question in Discord earlier today. I sent you a message. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you read it, but I'll read it back to you.
Hold on. I want you to raise your hand. I'm gonna call on you to do it. I don't want to be rude to the people who raise their hands first.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ja.
Yo, what's good, bro? So, how come you didn't take it off the 15-minute order block? The same trade that you took this morning? Because I took it off the 15 minute. Um,
Listen, when y'all ask me like how come I didn't take it off, this is because I just didn't look at that time frame. If I'd have looked at that time frame, I would have took it off that.
mhm.
I don't
Oh,
I
okay,
don't
okay.
time yeah, I don't listen. If I'm looking at the 1 hour, I strictly
Mhm,
stick to the 5 minutes so I don't get confused. When you look at the listen, if I go to the 15-minute time frame, right?
mhm.
And I'm looking at like this order block that's right here, right? And I'll mark out this order block like this, right? And then this is CE of the order block right here, right? And price, came to CE of this order block, right? And possibly, bounce to go to the upside. Now, when I go to the 5 minute time frame, right, this doesn't look, too much appealing to like I need to narrow it down to something for more confidence, right? If you feel like the 15-minute time frame was like good enough for you, right, for you to want to make the decision to take the trade, then that's good. But I like to just narrow it down to like, okay, listen, if I looked at the 1 hour, I'm going to stick to the 5 minute. I don't want to get confused. I don't want to start to second guess my trade because the 15-minute time frame is telling me this, but the 5 minute is telling me this.
Okay, for sure. That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't know what your perspective was on that, so that's why. So the
Yeah,
5 minute too, because I want to like I don't care like mine taking off the 5 minute. Because sometimes I notice that like your entries be a little bit better than mine, so that's why I'm like you might get a lower because like I
yeah,
almost got stopped out by 3 points versus you. You probably didn't get that much drawdown.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't get that much drawdown because time frame alignment, right? So if you, I mean, if you would have did it from the, the 4 hour standpoint, right? You probably would have gotten like this for value gap right here, right? And you probably, would have wanted to take like this for value gap, this CE of this for value gap or something like that for, something like this or something. But and then aligning that for value gap with like the 15-minute time frame, like something like that. But like I'm just sticking to the 1 hour and looking at the 5 minutes, so it's just really really easy on my trading and my psychology to where I don't start second guessing stuff for no reason. Go ahead, Trap.
Earlier you had showed the trade you took off the 50%. That was the
Yeah.
short. Why you take it off 50% and not OTE? Or what made you know to do that?
I see, that's the thing. You don't know when prices are going to go to 50% of OTE, right? Or OTE, right? You should always expect price to reject from 50% of a range because price always revisits 50% of a range. It's not guaranteed to go to OTE every time.
Okay, and then my other question was, I just want to clarify. You said like a protected low or protected high isn't protected once a higher low gets taken out on that same time frame.
Yeah.
Any higher low on that same time frame, it don't matter which one. It don't have to be a high resistance liquidity high. Or
It has to be a high resistance liquidity high.
okay, so not just any random high. It got to be a high resistance
Yeah.
liquidity high for it to not be
Yeah.
protected.
Yeah.
Okay,
It can't just be like this high right here. Like it can't be that. It has to be like this
on a
high
1 hour, like a one
because
hour time frame high.
no. It has to be like this high because this high was an inducement high, right? That's why when price came up to this high right here to the opening of this order block, it rejected to go lower to go and sweep out. See, you don't see it like really good because this is on a 5 minute time frame. But like if I mark out this right here, right? And this was CE and the opening, and then if I go to the 1 minute time frame, now you'll see that okay, price, this was a protective high, right? Price came up, came right back up. We sold off to sweep out this low to then go back to the upside right there. Right. This
So once
this
that
was
low was
inducement.
swept out, the high wasn't protected no more.
Yeah, this wasn't protected no more.
Okay.
Once this inducement happened, this wasn't protected no more. The failure swing. All right, go ahead, Peter.
Yo, Luchii, what's up, man? I have a question. What's the difference between like a market structure shift and a breakout structure? And if there is a difference, can you show us?
So market structure is 1 hour. Market structure is just higher highs and higher lows, lower highs and lower lows, right? A breakup structure is like um let's just say you are like higher highs, higher lows, like these failure swings are being created, right? These failure swings. And then you see price actually um make this low right here, make this high, and that induces this high, and then come down and break this low. This would be a break of structure, right? Because then it'll come up and then come down like that. Well, it doesn't just come up like that. So it'll come up, come down right here, right, and then you'll see price come right back up, sweep out this high, and then go down to take out like the low resistance liquidity that was built up right here.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Let's go, BB.
Hi, Luchii. I have a quick question. So, if you look at the fair value gap on the 1 hour time frame, um, I have two parts to this question. So, first of all, is that a fair value gap to tap into? And then number two, if it is, when
Bearish or
within
bullish?
it is bearish.
This one right here.
Yes, that one
Okay. What
on the
about?
1 hour time frame.
Yeah, this is
Um,
1 hour.
yes. So if you look at that one, firstly, is it a valid fair value gap? And then number
No,
two, okay. Why do you say so?
Because we had just literally just swept out all this. Like the objective is done. Listen, when fair value gaps are made, right? They're steps.
Mm-hmm.
They're elevators, they're steps, right? They're elevators to the down, to go up, or steps to go up, to go down, right? Once you get to the floor, right, that you are of your destination, right? This is your destination. So let's look at the gaps that were made, right? So this gap was created right here, right? Not just gaps, order blocks as well, right? So this gap was created, right? This order block right here on the 1 hour time frame. This was created, right? Price respected this order block right here, right? This order block right here was made, and price respected this order block as well, right? And then price ended up right. This isn't an order block. It wasn't created because price didn't close below here, right? This is an order block because price didn't close below here, right? But this is an order block that's right here, right? And price closed below it, but price didn't retest it for me to. Well, price just retested the opening of it just now. So like you can just see, we just tapped the opening and rejected for a top tick. But you know, this for value gap that was made, right, this one that was made, and you could really see the if we go to like the 15-minute time frame, you'll actually start to see it like a lot better of what I mean when I say this, and we'll just stick to like just for value gaps, right? um this for value gap right here, right, was respected. This one was respected. This one was respected. All these for value gaps on the 15-minute time frame was respected, right? And then as we start to displace lower, right, we create more for value gaps. Now I know what you're thinking. You see like these bearish for value gaps that's right here, and you're like, well, these didn't get respected. Well, that's because this was in discount. I mean, this was in discount. You sell from premium, you buy from discount. So of course these wasn't going to be respected. I say that to say that you use these for value gaps as a stepping stone to go lower or to go higher. Once they're done, right? Once you finish using them and price gets down to your designated area, these no longer matter. They're no longer irrelevant, right? You should expect price to blow through these areas, because if price doesn't blow through these areas, it's most likely because it's not done, right? Price wants to go lower for whatever reason possible.
Okay. Okay, makes sense now. Thank you very much.
No problem. So yeah, just to sum that up, if you see a bunch of for valley gaps, that's to the bottom or whatever, and price has already taken out its objective, right? It already took out all the low resistance liquidity that's within the area, and we bounced off a bullish gap. Please, and we start to respect bullish PD arrays, right? Like this bullish gap, right? Then we go ahead and recreate this bullish order block, which is this bearish candle, and we're rejecting to go to the upside from there, right? That lets you know that we're bullish, right? I made a video that's in the premium that kind of breaks that down, where I'm telling you guys like one good way to understand if price is bearish or bullish for the day is to understand what's being respected and what's being disrespected. Okay. Always ask yourself that when you're in a chart. What is being respected? What is being disrespected? I'm going to give you an example right here, right? As you can see, right, we are disrespecting right here, bearish for value gaps right here, right? Not only are we disrespecting bearish for valid gaps, we're disrespecting bearish order blocks, right? This bullish candle, we're disrespecting these order blocks that's right here, right? Also right here, we're disrespecting, right, these gaps where we're closing through them, we're running straight through them, right? But what do you see we are doing? We are respecting bullish for valid gaps. That lets you know that we're bullish, right? And we're headed towards these highs. Okay, just you know that in mind. Keep that in mind. Um, why did you mark out multiple candles for the order block instead of one? I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't do that just now. Yeah, I didn't do that just now. Um, If you're talking about when I did it on a 15-minute time frame, it was I marked out a 15-minute order block, and on a 5 minute, it was a 15-minute candle is 5 minute candles. I was looking at CE of the 1 hour for Valley Gap at 10 a.m. Can you tell me how I would have caught that after missing the CE of the entry at 10 a.m.? CE of the 10 a.m. Oh, you talking about? Oh, you asking like how you would have caught that after missing that? 5 minute time frame would have been like better, right? So after the sweep, see if we'd have got an entry. I can see right here we did come and tap into this gap on the 5 minute time frame, so we might have had inducement right here. Let's look at the 1 minute and see. Let's look and see if we had an SMT here. Oh shit. What time is this? All right, so did we have SMT? No, we didn't have SMT here. What about right here? Okay, we had an SMT right here, so this would have been a decent play right here. So you'd have waited for this inducement to happen on one of the indices, and then once that happened, you would have been looking for price to um, retest a key area to get in. I don't really see anything though. I probably would have waited on the 5 minute time frame. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, none of this looks good. I'm not even gonna lie to you. None of this looks good. I think market is going to come down and sweep out all these lows anyway. Go ahead, Shante.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is like, and I hope it makes sense how I word it, but when you know how we mark up the high and low and use the fib and be like, price has to come at least 50% for a
Yeah.
reaction, like I'll do that or whatnot, and then price will react well before like 50%. You know what I mean? So it's like I'll be waiting and it'll already have like a reaction. So I guess I'm wondering like when do we always need to wait, you
So
know what I'm saying, for 50%
so so
or
maybe
whatever?
you're marking out your highs and lows wrong.
Wrong. Okay.
Yeah, so I think maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're marking out your highs because like again, like last night, right? If I'd have marked out on a 15-minute time frame, right? Oh, well, no,
Mhm.
1 hour. If I would have marked out um my high and low like this, right, from here to right here, right, I would have gotten like that this low right here. But most people
Mm,
are going to mark it out from like this.
yeah.
And then you're gonna say, damn, it didn't come to 50%. You didn't mark it out right. So, and when it's unclear like this, that's why I went down to the 15-minute time frame. So once I went down to the 15-minute, it was easy for me to push it down to this low right here to where now I can see that this is 50% of the range.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
as far as like your highs and lows, always look on the 1 hour, but when it's not clear, just jump down to the 5 minute and
Jump
then mark
down.
out the nearest ones that's there.
Okay. Thank you.
No, no problem at all. Um Who's trade action this week with the Discord because of the problem. Right. So what days does he usually live trade? I trade I know I'm in here, right? Like I'm right here. I trade every day. I just choose a random day for y'all not to for y'all to trade on your own just because I want to see if y'all paying attention. Like I be needing y'all to like pay attention because like I something can happen to me today or tomorrow and some of y'all pockets is gonna be hurting because
God
uh,
forbid.
yeah, God forbid, but something can happen to me and y'all pockets gonna be hurting because y'all don't know. Y'all just rely on me to make money, and that's
Gonna
you
be
know
in at
that
least a hospital bed, like, please, Luchii, this inducement or not.
Shut up.
He will definitely tell you for real. He'll wake up. What you had a stroke the other day, man? Yo, hell
I'm
nah, bro.
telling you.
Or a heart attack, some shit like that. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, you the GOAT, kid. You the GOAT, kid. You really
Bro,
care.
this
I like
nigga
that. I
hopped on
appreciate
live
that.
talking about something. Yeah, doctor said I had a mini stroke, but let's find the
Yeah,
crazy.
man.
Nigga,
Yo, I ain't gonna
what?
lie, kid.
Exactly.
You different.
Yeah,
You different.
I'm good though, man. I'm
We
good.
had to beg that nigga to get off live, and he still ain't get off live.
Yeah, yeah. Shut up. All right, y'all. I'm going to the gym. Bye.
Your legs.